favor of ordinance 58, 2025. And that's Cheryl Amos.
Members of the City Council, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Cheryl Amos. I am here tonight in support of the proposed Food and Beverage Tax. Glen Miller Park is steeped in rich history. Originally Hawkins farmland, it was purchased by John Miller in 1880. Perhaps he had a vision to develop the peaceful glen with natural springs when he sold the property to the city for the development of a park in 1885. As a retired educator, I am actively involved in 3 exemplary venues supported by the Park Department. This proposed tax would provide a reliable stream of revenue for the continued maintenance and preservation of these venues. In 1928, a committee with members from the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution, the Indiana State Society, and state governing officials came together to select Richmond, Indiana, to be the location of one of 12 Madonna of the Trail monuments in the United States. These monuments connect 5 pioneer trails from the East Coast to the West Coast. Her presence at one of the entrances to the park sparks interest of those who pass by and promotes additional tourism to the park. In 2028, the Madonna of the Trail monuments will be 100 years old. There will be celebrations in each of the 12 states that will generate lots of interest and tourism. As a member of the Richmond, Indiana DAR chapter, it is our charge to monitor the condition of the monument. We have supervised restoration projects in recent years. We collaborate with the park greenhouse staff who maintain the grounds and plantings around the monument. Another venue that I strongly support is the Wayne County Veterans Memorial Park. This park is renowned for its monuments dedicated to the veterans in all wars, including the American Revolution. The Wayne County Veteran Park Committee hosts community events throughout the year, which generates significant tourism and local participation with support from the Richmond, Indiana DAR chapter. The year 2026 will be the celebration of America 250. The Veterans Park will be the site of numerous events in recognition of our country's founding. And I strongly support the Senior Recreation Center. From its humble beginnings, it has grown into a vibrant and active place. It has also become an important hub for senior resources and services. It is critical that a safe and well-maintained facility be available to us seniors who want to enjoy the daily activities and recreational opportunities it offers. I want to take this opportunity to praise the park team as a whole and the park greenhouse staff who has a tremendous job of maintaining all the park grounds. The Floral Division has implemented sustainable gardening techniques to supply the planting.
President, I'm sorry.
I'm
to interrupt
sorry.
you. I just wanted to let the president know that that's time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
Ordinance 58, 2025 is still on second reading. Is there anyone in the audience like to speak in opposition of this ordinance? Please come forward.
David Carpenter. Anywho, I'd like to speak in opposition of this ordinance. And you did say we have 3 minutes we're allowed to speak, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
If I may, sir, set my timer for 3 minutes.
We have a gentleman over here.
All right, begin, sir. Okay. So I'm against this ordinance because of the negative effects it could have on people who struggle to get through their day-to-day life with the finances they have. And also remind the general public how the mayor himself says he was against such tax, and how he also said that we don't need any more new tax, according to the debate that I myself was present in. And therefore, as a rhetorical question, would Mr. Oler veto the bill, as he has the power to do so, to uphold what he promised the voters who voted for him? Or is he going to go against what he promised the voters and go with it? But just because you council have the ability to do something, does that truly mean that you should? Sometimes we overlook what the true impact is. Sure, it's a small percentage, but every dime counts to people that struggle to get by every single day of their lives. So when you make your decision, I think that's one thing all of you should truly take into consideration. And I thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak in favor of ordinance 58, 2025? Please come forward.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to speak about the connection between attractive and inclusive parks and...
Sir, I need your name and address, please.
Sure. Brian Ballinger, 645 Indiana Avenue.
Thank you.
Beautiful parks increase the desirability of a community, which attracts new residents and retains existing residents through enhanced quality of life, property values, and amenities that invite social connection, health, and economic activity, making areas more vibrant hubs for families, workers, and retirees. These sentiments are confirmed by many research studies that have been produced by economist Dr. Michael Hicks from Ball State University. How do parks directly attract people? Parks offer spaces for exercise, relaxation, and nature, leading to healthier, happier residents, which is a major draw for families and individuals. They provide shared spaces for diverse groups to meet, socialize, and build community, fostering a stronger local identity. Well-maintained parks increase nearby property values, attract new businesses, and draw visitors, creating local jobs and investment. Features like playgrounds, splash pads, sports fields, dog parks, and event spaces cater to varied needs, expanding the potential user base across ages and abilities. How does this translate to population growth? Desirable communities with good parks attract new home buyers and workers seeking a higher quality of life. Existing residents are more likely to stay when parks meet the recreational and social needs. Parks also act as centers for community events and gatherings, and making areas feel more alive and welcoming. By investing in our parks, we can create environments where people want to live, work, and raise families, which will directly influence demographic growth. With added population growth, we will decrease the per capita costs for public services. By not acting now, we will only imagine what could have been. What do we hope to leave for our children and our grandchildren? We have the ability to not only imagine, but to act and see the reality of what we hope for, which is a thriving, vibrant, diverse, and growing community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ballinger. Ordinance 5825 is on public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience like to speak in opposition of this ordinance? Is there anyone in the audience like to speak in favor of this ordinance? Please come forward.
Good evening, members of council. My name is Rhonda Dooning, and I live at 215 South 19th Street in Richmond. I've been a member of this community for 42 years, and I've never not used the park. I have, my husband and I are both outdoor advocates, and we have been in this park system and using it sometime from morning to evening, as far as being able to take our grandchildren there, raising our son there, walking our dogs, just being a part of an outdoor lifestyle that we love to enjoy. That being said, as an individual, I'm also a realtor, And what Mr. Ballinger just said about our Parks Department and what people expect to see when they come to our community. Number one, the reason for people coming to Wayne County are our school systems. Number two would be housing, and number three is the Parks Department. What can they do outside? How can they grow in this community? And what adventures can they have? How can they explore our community? And what I've seen over the past 42 years as this community has grown, our Parks Department has gone up and down. They have just so much responsibility that's been put on them as far as green space. It's unbelievable the amount of green space that our Parks Department has to take care of. And the equipment they have to uphold to keep everything going. When they put that the fountain in the Glenn Miller Park, I cried. I think I still have pictures of it on my phone. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It's such a pretty area, and so much history's there. So, someone out of our community who loved the community as much as I do had the wherewithal to donate that. I still to this day don't know who donated it, but when it's not working, it brings me sadness, because it's just a lovely sight when I'm there at sunrise in the morning, watching the sun come up, and that is the park, the water is glistening. It's just beautiful at this time of year right now. I mean, it's just a beautiful place to be. And we use St. Mary's Park. We go to the Veterans Park, Veterans Park a lot, Springwood Park, the Reservoir. I use them all. And this summer we spent so much time. My kids came in from California and Montana. We take them to Thistlewaite Falls. Oh my gosh, it's just like being in the mountains for them. I mean, what can you enjoy in Richmond, Indiana? There's a lot to enjoy in Richmond, Indiana with our Parks Department. I'm in favor of it. I can't believe that, we're really even having this discussion that it wouldn't be something would be welcome. It's a user tax. It's a tax that, that would affect just people that go out and, to the restaurants and bars, and I think that's a good thing. Who enjoys the park? Everybody at every social level enjoys our park. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else in the audience like to speak in favor of this ordinance?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Name's Howard Price. I live at 3063 Dogwood Lane. Hopefully I'll touch on some topics that haven't been covered yet. We'll see. I'm in favor of the ordinance mainly because I'm tired of hearing we don't have any money. That's all I've heard since I've moved back to Richmond. Suggest something, next thing I hear, don't have any money. Okay, well, it looks like that's true. But hopefully, this thing will remedy that situation, at least as far as the Parks Department are concerned. So we need to have a dedicated source of money so we don't hear that all the time. There are a ton of other communities doing it. You can go and check it out. It all benefits those communities. They've made great progress. It's easy to check on. I heard somebody talk about wanting to do donations and volunteers. Well, if you ever go out on a Saturday to one of these things that the park sponsors, you'll be lucky to see 5 people, okay? I'm not belittling those people. I'm not belittling the people that go out in front of their houses or businesses every day, every morning, pick up the trash, clean up their area, not at all. But if you're gonna rely on donations and volunteers, you're gonna have the same thing you have right now. So we need to move forward. What we do need when we do this is a public accounting, a thorough public accounting. All the money that goes in, all the money that goes out, exactly how it was used. That's going to instill confidence, will promote other programs. If we're going to do that, we don't need to reduce the budget for the park that it is now. I mean, that's just insane. You're going to tax people and then you're going to reduce the budget you already have for the park department. I mean, it's just hurting it. So we need to keep the budget there. We need a priority list, a thorough priority list that we can see where the money's going to go in the future. And we don't need an outside agency telling us here in Richmond what that priority list should be. We have enough smart people in this town. We can decide what our own priority list is. Bond issue? Okay, fine. I'm really not in favor of a bond issue, but I understand if there's something that's an emergency right now that you decide on, that we have to have this bond issue to get it done now, as a last resort, let's make it as small as possible and for as short as possible. So to sum up, we really need this. I hope you vote in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Price. Is there anyone else in the audience like to speak in favor or in opposition of this ordinance? If so, please come forward.
May I say one final thing?
Yes, sir.
In my opinion, I think the reason why I see is having this whole issue with taxes, in my personal opinion, has to do with, for example, Reed Hospital. When they buy up property, they're tax exempt. And I'm sure if we looked at how much revenue our city has lost from that, it'd probably balance out the budget. And yes, I know there is a state law that allows them to do that. But perhaps maybe we should re-examine what changes we might be able to do. Because in my personal opinion, I feel that is one of the main reasons our tax base is hurt the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Final call. Anybody want to speak in favor or in opposition, please come forward.
My name is Erica Martinez, and I want to stand here still today in opposition of the proposed 1% tax. I know last time I had said that I was concerned because the money's only going to go to the Parks and Rec, which I get, okay. But, so if this does get approved and I'm paying an extra 1% tax, I wonder if the next time when my kids and I want to go out to use the reservoir and use one of the paddle boats, if I'm going to be told that because I'm a woman and the wind's so strong, I can't go out there. I was told that on Mother's Day, and the wind was less than 8 notches. So I hope that if you guys do impose this tax, that we can make our parks and rec accessible for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else like to speak in favor or in opposition?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I have some comments, but I'll do it from the podium if that's okay.
Certainly.
Ready? And we have a special guest to help me. I'll keep my remarks brief and introduce you to Ashley here in a minute. Kind of catch everybody up. Since property tax caps were enacted in 2010, the city has foregone over $120 million in property taxes that have led to deferred maintenance in almost every property the city owns, from this building that needs a new roof and HVAC system to Parks Department and all their facilities. Every day, someone calls the mayor's office and Parks Department and complains, or goes on social media, complains about the conditions of our parks, especially our flagship parks. All it takes is money. State legislators made it possible for the city to enact the 1% food and beverage tax that would solely benefit the Parks Department and finally begin the process of improving the quality of life through improved parks. The newly elected governor, Governor Braun, in 2024, promised to reduce property taxes, which he did in the last legislative session, while simultaneously making it possible for cities like Richmond to enact a food and beverage tax under a program called Replace, Don't Erase. So as we reduce property taxes next year and lit taxes, local income taxes will drop by 1.4 million, and our estimate on food and beverage tax is about 1.5 million. This is just replacing, not erasing. So that is where we find ourselves today, with a new governor, a new administration, and a lot of changes we weren't expecting in 23 that came about in 24, 25, and now it's really going to hit us in 26. So this tax is a use tax, and the governor and the state legislators have continued to press enact more usage taxes based upon what you do and rely less on property taxes, which is exactly what we're doing here. Now I want to introduce my special guest, Ashlyn Osborne. She was one of the students in our government accounting class at IU East. When Chancellor Rome asked what we could do, the partnership with the city, we had this brilliant idea to create a government fund accounting class to look at the city's budget. And she's going to give you some comments and thoughts.
Hello.
Hello.
Like you said, I'm Ashlyn Osborne. Okay. I'm a senior studying accounting at IU East, and I'm on the women's golf team there. And like you said, last spring I had the privilege to be a part of the first ever governmental and non-for-profit accounting class at IU East with Dr. Mark Sanders. We learned a lot about fund accounting and what that's like, but the main focus of the class was on a project for the city of Richmond. We met with the mayor and the city controllers a couple of times, and he gave us 4 projects that he was interested in for the city. So we comparatively analyzed city data from 14 cities in Indiana. We looked at their financial statements as well as like population and demographic information to compare. And we looked at like different projects that those cities were working on and how they were funding and financing them within their own cities. We tried to figure out how to kind of implement some of that in our city, if that was something we could do. And one of the projects that the mayor gave us was the Parks Department. So when we thought about Richmond and listened to the mayor, a huge focus was on growing and retaining the population here. So we really had to think about, what makes cities desirable to live and work in? What kind of things are attractive to people with families? Why do people want to settle down here? We think parks are a big contributor to that, not just the physical locations, but, events put on by the Parks Department, community engagement, a place to take kids to play, or a golf course in our city. Those things matter a lot when you're thinking about a place to live. We think parks are a vital public assets that are contributing to the overall health and life of any community. When the city was first considering the Whitewater Gorge Activation Plan in 2023, they conducted a survey, and out of 1,748 survey respondents, around 90% in our own city from Richmond stated that parks, open spaces, and recreational services were important to the quality of life in Richmond. In our report, we stated that if citizens know that their tax dollars will be put towards projects that they consider valuable, like the Parks Department, according to them, then increasing contributions will carry less of a negative connotation. The revenue from this tax can obviously only be used for the Parks Department, which people believe, at least to some extent, in the value of. I firmly believe it would be good for the city of Richmond to implement the 1% tax, and we as a class included it in our report as an official proposal. Also, it's good to note a significant portion of that revenue generated is expected to come from visitors dining in Richmond, people coming in off the interstate that are going to eat at the new Chick-fil-A, that don't live here, people traveling for work, those types of things. It's not an income tax, they don't live here, and they're going to contribute to our city because of this tax. So aside from the relatively small effect on our taxpayers, another compelling argument in favor of this tax is that it is voluntarily assumed. The food and beverage tax is not annually enforced on all residents, but applies to food purchased when dining out. We feel that if citizens are able to choose to dine out, they're aware and accepting of paying this small tax as a part of the bill. I would also lastly like to point out that almost every other city and county in Indiana has already implemented this tax, and it hasn't hurt them. Their cities and parks have benefited greatly from the revenue brought in from this tax. So to close, I would like to say, can I finish? Sorry. Our class at IU East was really happy to be involved in helping out our community, and we fully support the food and beverage tax. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
A couple of people have just recently came in, and so to give everybody a chance, is there anyone in the audience want to speak in favor or in opposition of this? Please come forward now. Okay. Public comment is now closed. What is council's pleasure?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
for transparency, can we get the mayor's feeling on the food and beverage tax?
Certainly.
Sorry, what do you want to know?
Are you in favor or are you not in favor?
You pass this, I will sign it. This is the situation we find ourselves in under replace, don't erase. Yes,
That was the political answer.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Has the Finance Committee had a chance to review this?
Several times.
And their opinion is?
Finance Committee is in favor of this passage.
Thank you. Mr. Sickman, I have a question for you. Can this be voted on during this section, or since it's already on our agenda for 7 o'clock, do we need to wait till 7 o'clock to vote?
You do not. It can be voted on right now.
Okay.
In that case, Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance.
Before that, we have to engross it.
I'd like to make another comment, Mr. President.
Oh, Mr. Burkhart,
Can I make a comment first?
certainly, go right ahead.
So as a member of the Food and Beverage Committee that was headed up by Mr. Engel, I commend the Parks Department. I have taken notes over the last two public hearings and hearing comments like slum several times, weeds, flowers outside the city building, the little red train at the zoo. I heard the picnic tables, dump, dying, closed road to water, new mayor, new superintendent. But if not now, when? And I know that that's a little cliche, but there is no overwhelming fund for the Parks Department. And so if there's another recommendation or suggestion of how we can spruce up the parks or how we can finance these projects without this food and beverage tax, I would love to hear. I know Ms. Martinez talked about fixing the crack Freedom Fountain. But as the mayor talked about how these funds have dried up, and I don't look at this necessarily as a tax, but as an investment. And it's the first step of reestablishing pride in our city. And so I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to comment that this team has done a lot of work. I don't think anybody wants to pay more new taxes, but in my opinion and the opinion of others, this is a viable option and something that I would recommend pursuing. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Mr. Engel?
even though Mr. Burkhart had stolen my thunder here, I would totally agree. I think our Parks Department does a great job of battling the everyday struggle that we have with taking care of our Parks Department. It's great to have the things that we have in this community, like a golf course, a swimming pool, the Glenn Miller Park, a terrific park, pickleball courts, but you have to take care of them, and you have to meet that struggle every single day. That's why I'm in support of this. I appreciate all the work that Denise Retz has done. She's done a wonderful job with our Parks Department, and I appreciate the work that you all have done on this committee. It's been inspiring to me to be a part of that, and I will be voting in favor.
Mr. President?
Mr. Purcell?
Yes. I'd like to say that I've come a long way since we started this discussion. Everyone knows how I feel about the blight, et cetera, in our community. And to my great surprise, the most complaints I have had since sitting in this seat is the condition of our parks. And to be quite honest, without this help, there is no way to get the infrastructure up to date in our parks. Overall, to my surprise actually, the input at these public meetings has been positive and supportive of this tax. They've just asked for a few guardrails to be in place. Possibly less parkland so we can maintain what we do have properly into the future. The reduced acreage getting back on the tax rolls to help with this. Make the prioritized parks something for us all to be proud of. There's been question on the bonding. The length of this tax and the possible earlier sunsetting of it, which it currently sunsets in 2047. In review myself of this tax and conversations with the corporate attorney, the guardrails are already in place. Council has to approve every project and any bonding that would take place. And I am in support of this, but I can promise you in that role of guardrail that I will do my due diligence as long as I'm on this council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Dr.
Can't speak quick enough.
First of all, Denise, I love you. My BFF. However, I understand the parks are important. I get it. We use it at Townsend, my grandchildren, my children, my family, we do use the park. However, I think there are other things that are more important, like the people of our community. I know you all say it's a user tax, however, and that if you don't want to pay it, you don't have to go out to eat. But I think you're taking away people's options when you put it that way. And I will not be voting for it. So this is business, not personal. But I just want folks to know where I stand. And I've gotten phone calls, and I have to vote how I feel is right, what I think is in the best interest. So there you have it.
Additional comments?
Mr. President?
Yes, Ms.
Finally got in there. I just want to thank tremendously Bill and Doug and Justin. We all four have been on this food and beverage team, and it has been a wonderful bipartisan discussions, meetings. It has just been a pleasure to work with them. And when I first got on city council, I've been through multiple meetings about this, and I can understand people's questions, concerns, and everything, because I had the same ones. And it took a lot of, going through the education process of it and everything. And I have a tremendous respect for the people that have taken their time and explaining, and I am 100% in support of our parks, and there's got to be. I echo what Justin said. If people can come up with ideas in our community to fund the necessities outside of taxes, by golly, bring it on. We would love to hear it and love to work with it. So, and I want you guys to know, I really appreciate everybody coming up here and speaking. It's not an easy thing to do. And I just appreciate everyone. And I appreciate that young lady from the college, because I love to hear from the younger generation. Ashley.
Avoid tax as a student myself here in the community. We do have 4 colleges here, considered a knowledge town. I think that if all of the colleges got together and did some projects, there's no reason why us students couldn't come together and help out.
I think that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a knowledge town.
Yeah, awesome.
Additional comments from council?
Mr. President, I move to engross 50 years.
No, I have one more. Doug, did you have anything?
No,
Okay.
everybody else is talking.
Okay. I'd like to make my comment. First of all, I'm opposed to any types of additional taxes, but at the same token, I do understand that the state has taken this money away from us. We have to somehow or other make up this money. This is probably the easiest way to make it up because of the fact that it is a user tax. If you don't eat out, you don't pay for it. We also will get some money off of the highway of people from out of town, Preble County, those people who do come into Richmond to eat. So they will have to pay this as well as any resident that goes out to eat. If you've been to any other city here in Indiana and went to a restaurant, you've already paid this tax because almost every other city already has it. one thing I'd like to do, I can't make a motion, but I would like for someone on this board to add a section 10 to this ordinance for having a quarterly accounting of the monies in and the monies spent. And that's my comments before we go to vote.
My motion stands.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 58, 2025. Would you please call the roll?
Goss,
Aye.
Lucinda Wright,
Nay.
Bill Engel,
Aye.
Ann Taylor,
Aye.
Gary Turner,
Aye.
Jane Bumbelow,
Aye.
Justin Burkhart,
Aye.
Jerry Purcell,
Aye.
and Larry Park.
Aye.
8-1, it passes.
Okay, motion carried. Anything else to come before the council at this special meeting?
We still need to vote to approve it.
Pardon me?
That was a motion to engross, so we still need to call the roll.
Okay. That was to engross.
We have to do it again.
We had the motion to engross, so.
that was-
8-1, that was approved.
So,
Call the
motion to call the question.
Second.
Second.
So confused.
Do it again.
Why didn't that happen?
Yeah.
Who seconded
Make them
that?
applaud again.
Me. I got my voice in there.
Doug Goss,
Aye.
Lucinda Wright,
Nay.
Bill Engel,
Aye.
Ann Taylor,
Aye.
Gary Turner.
Aye.
Jane Bumbelow.
Aye.
Justin Burkhart.
Aye.
Jerry Purcell.
Aye.
Larry Parker.
Aye.
8-1.
Motion carried.
There you
Thank you
go.
very much. We stand adjourned.
You're watching WGTV Channel 11, part of the Whitewater Community Television family of stations.